Welcome to the St. Vrain Sports Report. We're glad to have you along with us. We are going to look back at state volleyball and also the first round of the playoffs in state football. Also, we're going to preview the state quarterfinals in Class 3A for football. But first, we have highlights. Let's get right to it with some first round football action. Frederick hosting Thomas Jefferson in the Class 3A ranks. And Frederick looking for its first playoff win in a while. Tyler Weston with a 50-yard run down to the Thomas Jefferson 5-yard line. This would set up Frederick early on in this game. Weston, 58 yards rushing and a touchdown on just 4 carries. Brandon Hornby would finish off that drive with a 1-yard touchdown run. The Warriors doing what they do best by running the football there. TJ would answer though as their running back would take it in from a yard out to make it 7-7 at that point. Second quarter, it was Jake Green, the quarterback on the keeper, going 14 yards for the go-ahead touchdown, and the Warriors up 14-7 at that point. This is a little back and forth in the first half of this game. As Thomas Jefferson fumbled, though, near midfield was recovered by junior Reese Lehman, and the Warriors were able to pounce on that one and take advantage of it. That would set up Parker Ayers for the 10-yard touchdown run, including a great spin move. They led 21-7 at that point, but it was just 21-14 at the half. They would pull away after intermission, though. Third quarter, it's Green on the keeper again. He goes 55 yards up the middle of the field for a touchdown, and they were rolling at this point, and TJ just really didn't have a chance in the second half as the Warriors' run game took over this game. In the fourth, Green would call his own number once again, this time going 38 yards for the touchdown. He finished with 208 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Frederick with its first playoff victory since 2011. The Warriors moving on to the second round. Meade hosting Harrison. The Mavericks coming in at 10-0 and the number 1 seed in Class 3A, and taking on the number 16 Harrison team. Scoreless in the first quarter, but early in the second, it's Braden Keys from 9 yards out to get the Mavericks on the board first, and they would not look back from there as they kind of dominated this one. Harrison looking to pass, but Corby Tiku around the edge. He gets the sack and forces the fumble, and that would be recovered by Jason Pelzel, and Meade was in business once again offensively. Offense would capitalize as Eli Mackey scored from a yard out. Meade with a 13-0 lead on the first of 2 Mackey touchdown runs. Later in the quarter, it's Brady Velteen, and he doesn't throw often, but when he does, it often goes to Trey Ward deep down the field for a 41-yard touchdown as those 2 guys hook up once again. Ward then caught a pass from the other quarterback. He takes that interception and goes 20 yards the other way for the pick 6. And Meade led 27-0 to the half with a 27-point second quarter. Third quarter, Devin Edwards, he's going to take the handoff and go up the middle and bounce it outside for the touchdown. 14 yards on that score, and Meade moves on with an easy one, 41-7. Class 4A, Skyline hosting Ponderosa in a rematch of last year's semifinals, won by Skyline 32-0. This one very much different. Chase Silva under pressure near midfield, and he is taken down for the sack on third down, forcing a Falcons punt. Ponderosa would respond, getting a 43-yard touchdown pass from Jack Hanneberg to Colton Miller. Not a touchdown pass, but a 43-yard pass down to about the 10-yard line. Hanneberg would then find Joe Hufford for the 9-yard touchdown pass. That would cap that drive. A really nice throw right there, and that would put the Mustangs up early in this one. Second quarter, Hanneberg looking to pass again, but this one is picked off by Graydon Bridwell of the Falcons. He returns that down to the 25-yard line. A great pick by Bridwell, who had a big game in this one for the Falcons. Skyline would take advantage of the turnover as Silva makes a great back shoulder pass to Hayden Robinson for the touchdown, and they would miss the extra point there, but it's 7-6 at that point. Ponderosa's next drive would stall near the end zone, but Hufford drilled the 37-yard field goal for the 9-6 lead for Ponderosa at that point. Hanneberg then with a 20-yard pass to Carter Motichka, and get that down to the 25-yard line. So they are in business offensively once again. That would set up Hanneberg to Miller once again. The 5-yard touchdown pass. Mustangs led 16-6 at the break. Fourth down play, a key one here is the Falcons in Ponderosa territory, but Silva is sacked to end that drive. One of 5 sacks for the Mustangs in this game. Then fourth quarter, Silva scrambles, finds Bridwell for the touchdown. 9 catches for 61 yards for Bridwell. Falcons within 16-13 at that point. Then one last chance for the Falcons, but Silva's fourth down pass is picked off by Brant Jarvis. Falcons have their 7-game winning streak snapped. They finished 8-3 and get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. So a tough loss for the Falcons there. We're going to talk more about the high school playoffs or the football playoffs here in a minute. But first we want to show you what happened in state volleyball last week, because we did have 2 teams down there. We didn't have a chance to get down to the Denver Coliseum. But let's take a look at what happened down there. Erie was down there as well as Meade. Erie, they defeated Cheyenne Mountain in the first round, but then lost to Montrose in Discovery Canyon. They finished 19-9. Coach Molly Creek is doing a great job. In her 3 years, they are 51-27. That win against Cheyenne Mountain, the first victory ever for the Tigers at the state tournament. Meade, they came in riding a 15-match winning streak, but they lost both of them to Coronado and Thomas Jefferson. They finished 22-5. Tied the school record for wins, and like I said, that 15-match winning streak. Coach Michaela Martinez, in her first year, did a great job with the Mavericks, and they'll be back next year. They got a lot of good talent and a young coach that's hungry. They're going to be back. They're going to be one of the better teams in Class 4A for years to come. So let's get back to football and take a look at the first-round matchups. We had 5 teams in action last week. In 4A, Pine Creek 48-13 over Longmont. We kind of expected that. Pine Creek, the #1 seed, coming in. Their running back, David Moore, only carried the ball 8 times, but he got 202 yards and 4 touchdowns on those carries. Keegan Patterson for the Trojans, 18 completions, but 43 attempts, 152 yards, threw a pick and a touchdown. Longmont, just 178 yards of total offense. 13th consecutive winning season, though, for the Trojans, and their second straight first-round loss. There's that Skyline loss to Ponderosa. Chase Silva, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns in the air, but also that interception that we saw there towards the end. Will Drews, a big game, 13 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and a sack on that defense. First time the Skyline has been in the playoffs 3 years in a row since '98 through 2000. So Coach Mike Silva doing a great job there. And they've got a lot of guys back coming next year. So I think they're going to be a pretty good football team again next year. They're 33-13 over the last 4 years, which is just amazing when you think about where Skyline was not too long ago. Let's take a look at Class 3A. There's that Frederick over Thomas Jefferson score. Warriors, 10-1. First 10-win season in school history as they are rolling along. Brandon Hornby, 14 rushes, 98 yards, and a touchdown. Joey Notaro, Sean Holbrook, Chris Baum, let's give those defensive guys some credit. Each of them had over 13 tackles, or at least 13 tackles in that game. Their defense played really well in that game. Meade over Harrison, 41-7. We saw the highlights there. Mavericks 11-0, second 11-win season in the last 3 years for them. Brady Veltine, 4 for 4 for 104 yards, and that touchdown we saw to Trey Ward. And Ward, by the way, 2 catches, 72 yards, and a touchdown. And he also had 2 interceptions, including the pick 6 that we saw. And then one other score, Green Mountain over Evergreen, 27-7. Tigers led that game 7-0, but got outscored 27-0. The final 3 quarters, Green Mountain intercepted 3 Erie passes there. The Tigers finished 7-4. It's their earliest exit in the playoffs since 2016. They were 5-2 the last 2 years in the playoffs, and beat Green Mountain in the quarterfinals last year, 34-0. But Erie, a pretty good run over the last several years, and they've got several guys coming back again next year as well. Let's take a look ahead to the quarterfinals in Class 3A. 2 teams left standing, and it's Green Mountain at Meade, the #1 seed, and Frederick, the #6 seed at Discovery Canyon. Let's talk about that Frederick game first real quick. Saturday at 1 o'clock, down at Discovery Canyon. Both teams are 10-1 coming into this one. Frederick 1-2 all-time in second-round games and lost to Discovery Canyon in double overtime in the first round last year. Jake Green's having a huge year, 1,300 yards passing, 1,500 yards rushing, and 40 touchdowns. Brandon Hornby is knocking on the door of 1,000 yards, and Dylan Sindelar has just been fantastic, catching the ball and also on defense, 7 sacks, 73 tackles. He's got 10 touchdowns as a tight end on offense. And the Thunder, Discovery Canyon, 8-game winning streak, third 10-win season in the last 6 seasons for the Thunder. And their average score, they outscore everybody 38 points to 17. And Marshall Pike, their running back, 1,500 yards and 24 touchdowns. I was able to catch up with Michael Clemenson, the Frederick center and defensive lineman, one of the best offensive linemen in the conference and really in this area. Just had a chance to talk with him about the matchups, the fact that they get the kind of revenge game from last year, and was able to talk to him about this upcoming matchup.
The energy around here is just awesome, especially amongst the team, but then also along all the students at the school, we're all just really excited for having our first playoff win in 7 years. Getting 10 wins, which the school's never had. It's just been really exciting, and we just can't wait to keep on moving forward. Oh, it's a lot of fun, especially running the football, especially in our scheme, getting to down block, hit guys in the ribs, get them to move them, throw them on the ground, bully them a little bit along the line of scrimmage. It's just a lot of fun, especially seeing it successful and watching our running backs get through the holes and seeing them in film be open and just knowing that we're doing our job to help them get the yards they're getting. Yeah, I think we're just playing with a lot of confidence right now. We've been playing together, a lot of us, since 2nd grade, and we know our team and we really trust each other to do our jobs even when things are hard. So just that trust we have as a team has really helped us, especially when we get into those second quarters when they're close, or the second halves when they're close. We just can trust each other to do our jobs, and we just continue to fight. And I think that's what I love about our team the most, is just our fight we have. This is the game I wanted. I wanted Discovery Canyon to win last week. I wanted to be able to, my senior year, go back to Discovery Canyon, the place where it ended last year, and be able to just end the game how it should have ended last year. We had a 21-7 lead going into halftime. We just weren't able to finish last year, but this year we have the team. We had the team last year, but we really just, we're excited to go back there and finish what should have happened last year. We see the same scheme. We see the same team, how they play and what they do. They're a little bit smaller this year. They're a little bit faster this year. So, but our team's also a little faster and a little stronger this year, so we're excited to just be able to play our game plan against them. Oh, it should be a good matchup, but Frederick should come out on top.
Thank you to Michael Clemenson for giving us some time there and giving us his insights into that team and the matchup coming up this week. Frederick with a big one down at Discovery Canyon. Now Meade, they will host Green Mountain on Saturday. That's going to be a big one for the Mavericks. 11-0, 2 consecutive quarterfinal losses for this team, so they are looking to finally get past that quarterfinal round. The Mavericks come in, average score 41.5 to 9.4, so they've just been blowing out everybody this season other than Frederick, who in the final game of the regular season they beat by a touchdown, but they've really just been blowing out almost everybody. Mavericks average 300 rushing yards per game. You can see different guys running the ball here. Brady Veltine has only thrown for 859 yards, but 14 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jake Wachter, he is back from an injury, over 1,000 yards rushing, 15 touchdowns. He averages 13 yards a carry. And Trey Ward, 6 interceptions on defense. He's also got 405 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. So he's a big factor for them in this game as well. See Devin Edwards there, one of their key running backs as well. Green Mountain's on a 5-game winning streak coming in, and they have been red hot. 199-20 is the combined score of their last 5 games. They've shut out 3 of their last 5 opponents, held Erie to a touchdown last week, obviously. They're giving up just 12.2 points per game and averaging 36. Now, their quarterback kind of runs the show there, Trey Towndrow, 1,665 passing yards, 16 touchdowns. He has thrown 10 interceptions, however, so you know Trey Ward is going to be looking for some picks there. But Towndrow has also rushed for over 1,000 yards, 1,040 and 13 touchdowns. They've got a pretty good running back as well. Jacob Chavez, 834 yards, 13 touchdowns. But really, I think this game is going to come down to whether Meade can keep up its defense. I'm not sure that Green Mountain, as good as they play defense, can hang with that Meade offense. But if Meade can play pretty good defense and get that running game going, they've got a pretty good shot. I think Frederick's got a good shot as well. And hopefully next week we're talking about some semifinal matchups with both of those teams. But we want to thank Blaine Robinson and Don Gurton for all the behind-the-scenes work they do on this show, as well as Blaine and Tim Ellis and Quinn McCain for getting our video for us this week. Check out bocopreps.com and the Longmont Times Call. They'll get you up to date on everything going on in high school sports in the area. Also, like us on Facebook and check us out on the web at longmontchannel.com, where you can watch this or any other programs you like here on Channel 8. And as always, we want to thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you again next week.